I could have been anywhere in Africa, but I'm here in the United States because my ancestors were brought here in what the United Nations called the greatest crime against humanity ever, the transatlantic slave trade. But once that was over, my ancestors were still here. And then the 14th Amendment made them citizens. But we were not full citizens, not yet. Then the Civil Rights Act of 1964 struck down segregation and Jim Crow, and we became closer to becoming what the Constitution said, that all men are created equal. Then in 1965, the Voting Rights Act was passed and put into law, and that prevented discrimination in voting against people based on their race. But now we have had some of those rights rescinded. The first one was something called the Pre-Clearance Act. That was Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. It basically said areas that had a history of racial discrimination in voting had to submit beforehand to the Department of Justice any proposed changes, such as, for example, making it illegal to provide people standing in line to vote food or water, or changing the times of closing of polling locations, for example, for early voting in cities, or passing something that said you can't go and vote early on Sundays, such as they did in Georgia in a tradition called Souls to the Polls. But now some of those rights are being stripped away. Most recently, the Supreme Court struck down a decision on a voting map created in Louisiana that created an additional minority voting district. And then those southern states wasted no time in eliminating majority minority areas' ability to choose their own representation. But here's the main point. Since we are here and not in Africa, you have to figure out what you're going to do. We're either full citizens or we're not. We fought, bled, and died, our ancestors did, to gain these rights, to end segregation, to gain equal voting rights. And now you want to roll it back. You see, we're not going anywhere. We are past any date of return. We've never been to Africa in many cases. We've never lived in Africa. So that old tired trope of, why don't you go back to Africa or go somewhere else? This is our somewhere else. So we're not going to give up. We've just begun to fight again to regain that full measure of citizenship that's guaranteed in the Constitution of the United States. And we won't stop until we get it.